Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at all of my tarot decks, oracle decks, spell decks, you name it, we're looking at them all. And we have different categories that I've actually grouped them all into, so we're going to look at those together. So we've got first buys and regrets as one group as well, potential regrets, small regrets. Then we've got TV show decks, tins, favourites and must-haves for myself personally. We have affordable decks, we've got beginner decks, expert decks, alternative decks, spell decks, and gold foiled decks as well. There's actually a lot of gold foiled ones, but I've put like the most foiled decks in that category for you guys, in case you're into that. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay, so this category is first buys and also potential regrets, although not majorly. This deck is the first deck I ever bought. To be honest, when I got it, I didn't know, like, you're not supposed to throw the box away. But I threw it away because I did know that, like, it can be a good idea to wrap your tarot deck in a cloth, which I thought was going to be really cute, so that's what I opted to do instead. So I've thrown the box away, but I do have this card on the front that does say, you know, what tarot deck it was, if you guys are interested. And this is the back of the deck. And these are the front images that I'm gonna sort of flip through now while I speak to you. This was the first deck I ever bought, and as a newbie to buying tarot decks, not necessarily using them, but having my own, I didn't know that tarot decks are relatively cheap and you can get a really good one. Really affordable, really easy to understand. What I happened to stumble across was the expensive tarot decks. Which happened to be this. I believe I paid £80 for this. Over the years, I think I bought this when I was like 17 or 18, and I'm now 25, so over the years, I have seen this deck circulating the internet, and it is cheap as chips. It is like £10, £15, £20, depending on who's selling it. So I dislike this deck because I feel like I got mugged off, which I did. On top of that, the black and gold as a first deck is really difficult to actually see and know what's going on unless you know the cards already. This is really confusing. To not be able to see the colours and see the symbols because of this gold and black design really impacted my ability to learn tarot initially. I feel like it didn't come with like a manual. I think it came with one of those like really basic leaflets, but that wasn't like, you know, the in-depth descriptions I was kind of looking for. So as a first-time tarot reader, tarot purchaser, this deck really was very lackluster for me. Another reason why I quite dislike this deck is because, as you can see, there's not much detail. It's kind of hard to look at. But also the fonts are slightly different. So with the King of Swords, the King writing is much larger than the Knight of Swords. See how big the Fool is in comparison? So that was something I didn't like. And I'm probably just being bitter and panicky because obviously I hella got scammed. But this just isn't it for me, personally. Another one of my first buys was this deck from Etsy. It wasn't a tarot deck, it's like an oracle deck. And it came with this little bag. And I really like the sort of like artsy design on the back. I bought it for this card on the front because I just saw like 100 different messages in this one card when I saw it. Uniqueness, success from the White Horse, that I really wanted the deck, didn't really care what the rest of the deck looked like. It didn't come with a manual. I found it hard to actually interpret the other cards. Of course those are parrots, but you know, I would interpret this kind of like the Hanged Man. You've got a little fish, then you've got a mountain. But there are definitely symbols in here that I find hard to sort of decipher. But I do think it is really pretty, so I don't necessarily regret this one. I just don't use it that often. It's not one I particularly turn to. My next first deck is this Moonology Oracle card deck. I have mixed feelings on this one. This is what the inside of the box looks like, which I think is really cute. It says, "Let the moon be your guide." It comes with a booklet, guys. I was over the moon when I was like, yes, one with a booklet, because that's all I wanted. I wanted to learn like as much as possible. So it comes with a booklet, which is really good. It's pretty in-depth. tells you the meanings, then it tells you like teachings and things about the moon as well. Also, the back is so cute, just these little like moon phases. However, every time I've used this deck, I swear, I always get something negative. And like, fair enough, thanks for like the honest opinion, but I'm like, it kind of put me off because I was like, why am I always getting the only negative cards in this deck? But I find the cards so stunning. Like, the actual artworks are really beautiful. I like the messages of most of them, and I love anything to do with moons. I think that's stunning. I like the perspective that's being shown there. See, that's so beautiful to me. I'm pretty sure this is the card that I saw and this one that sold me on it when I was looking at it online. I do think this was an affordable deck. I'm pretty sure you can get it anywhere, like on Amazon or whatever, but I think I got this one from Etsy. They're very shuffleable. They're very thick cardstock. They're like good quality in my opinion. The pictures are really stunning. I like the design on the back. And I like that it came with a booklet as well. Another first buy of mine was also by the same printing house called Lifestyles as the Moonology deck. However, I didn't actually buy this one for me. This was given to me as a gift, even though I was very grateful to receive a gift. I personally would not have chosen this particular deck simply because at the time, I disagree now, but at the time I really wasn't into decks with people's faces because it kind of felt a little bit uncanny valley. On the inside of the box it has a quote, and again this is one that comes with a booklet. It's again because it's the same printer, it's the same type of thing with the pictures and the meanings, which I do really like. The back design is really cute. Again, really easy to shuffle, good quality cardstock, but it's just there's lots of people faces, and that's just something I kind of like don't like. I know that's so weird, but I mean, it actually depends. It depends what the faces like look like the type of animation, because I've got one that's like very animated, cartoony. I'll talk about that one later, which I do really like. Whereas this is like almost video gamey, like, and it's quite realistic. It looks like someone like took someone's photo and then used some sort of filter to turn it into an artwork. Like, that's the kind of style I don't like. And that's not to say the deck isn't good or, you know, isn't gonna be like good for anybody, because that's not true. There are gonna be people who love this deck. It's gonna work for other people. I haven't actually ever used it though, I don't think. Next up, we have All of You is Magic. I actually bought it kind of recently, I think a few good months ago. It's one of my regrets because, and it's not a big deal, but I really like gold foiled stuff, and I thought the cards would be gold foiled because on the back it shows you an example of the cards and they're gold foiled on the back on the edge, so that's what I thought they'd be on the inside. And at the time I was like, I mean I still am, but at the time I was like very obsessed with gold foiled cards. And so I was disappointed to find out on the inside they're not gold foiled. Also, it only really comes with a leaflet, not like a proper manual, which is one of my pet peeves with certain Oracle and Tarot decks. Also, it opens from the top just sliding off, so when I go to put it down on a shelf and I let the bottom go, it slides out first, which is kind of stressful because then I'm like, I'm gonna lose all the cards and drop them if I don't grab the bottom immediately. It has little like stars on the inside. The texture, I can't explain it, but it's kind of like rubber, which I do like. Again, here's the leaflet. It's not very detailed. It's just kind of like how to use this deck, but it doesn't go into the deck's cards at all because they have done that on the back of the cards. So one thing I really like about this deck is, firstly, like, I think the artworks are really cute. This is the kind of non-hyper-realistic artwork that I like. I also like all the colours they've used, and I love the fact that each card is completely different. They've popped the, like, definitions on the back as opposed to having a back design for the cards and having the definitions in here, which can be nice and easy and convenient for people who just want to do like a quick read and a quick like affirmations pull and get just some words of wisdom. Also, the card quality is a little bit flimsy. It's not been laminated, so if you use these a lot they would wear and tear quite easily. It's quite thin card. And I would say they're a little bit difficult to shuffle just because of the height. So the way that I would shuffle these is from the top, like this. as opposed to the side. This is more of a deck for sort of, you know, as it says here, giving you like a little ritual to do, which is all about self-reflection. It's about like journaling, and I do like prompts like that. So that is another good quality about it. But other than that, it's actually a really nice deck. This one is not a first buy, but it is another regret. It is called the Dream Ritual Oracle card deck. As you can see on the outside, it's gold foiled. This is another one where I was bamboozled. I do really like that the inside is yellow. I think that's cute. Again, this one comes with a proper little booklet, which I really appreciate. And it goes into detail, in my opinion. It tells you about moon phases. It tells you about each card and what that represents and all these things and little like rituals you can do. It's so detailed. It can almost be a little bit confusing for somebody who just wants the quick definition and then to kind of go. But I do really like that about this. I prefer more detail than less. I think the back of the cards were adorable. I really just love moon, stars, clouds, like that kind of vibe. But I thought this was the bit that would be gold foiled. I love the animation. That's exactly why I bought it. I love the designs, the artwork. That is just so detailed and so beautiful. But I do feel like, even though these are so cute, a lot of them can kind of mean the same thing. So it's not a very well-versed deck with like, you know, a variety of meanings. But I do think the artwork's really cute. I really love that about this one. So it's not like a massive regret, it's just like a little small regret. This is similar cardstock to the last one where it's kind of quite thin and flimsy. It does feel laminated though, but I just think with more use there will be like a lot of wear and tear eventually. And here is the last deck in the regret category. I wouldn't say I like massively regret this one. It's just one I haven't really connected with. But this is called the Self-Care Wisdom cards deck. And the inside is this little like green blue inside with stars and a quote. I love it when they have like little details like that inside the box and it's not just a plain box. So firstly, the deck comes with this about the author and the artist card. Similar card to the last one. But it is laminated, which is good. But the thing I would say is that I resonate with some images and then others I don't really like. But that's like bound to happen in decks. I don't really like this image here. I don't feel like there's much to it. But like this image I really like. This felt nice because it's like there's a lot more to the cards. You've got like plants in the background, friends comforting each other, having a chit chat, tea, cakes, like a book. It says listen, there's a phone. Like there's a lot I can pull from this. I really like this as well because again there's lots I can pull from it. See, like this card in particular, again I wasn't vibing with it. It's just like it, and that's bound to happen. There's bound to be 2 to 3 cards in a deck that you don't like. And there are some cards I resonate with and some that I don't. Like this one again, not really resonating. But I liked this one in particular. And I like all the little like cat imagery as well. And then on the back you get a quote with each card. So I think that's quite nice as well. Okay, so the next category is TV shows. We're starting off strong with the Buffy the Vampire Slayer deck. So I am a sci-fi bitch. That is my fave thing. And I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think like when I was growing up in a religious household, part-time, I think I was watching like a really intense episode of Buffy. I think it was the one where like, what's his face, the boring one, vanilla guy, was like, oh, I've cheated on you, but like you need to get over it and I'm gonna get in this helicopter and go now. And Buffy was running after him like, baby no. And at the time I was very invested. Of course, grown up Katie is like, hey, let him go, let him get in that plane. But me as a kid I was like, oh my god, go to her, oh my god, go to him, I hope they work it out. And my dad was like, you have to go to church, we need to go to church, hurry up, finish the episode. And the episode, I was like, wait, just 2 more seconds. He unplugged the TV before I saw the resolution of the episode, and I was like, on this day I vow never to be a Catholic again. Because I literally got Buffy cut off for church. I was like, are you joking? Like, needless to say, I really like it. So when I saw this deck I was like, I will not rest until I get this deck. I searched high and low. At the time, it was on Amazon, but they were restocking, so they just didn't have it in, and I wasn't sure if they would ever restock, so I was getting kind of like desperate, and so I went on to, I think, eBay, and I paid way more than I should have for this deck. I think I paid roughly 40 quid, when in actuality I think it's going for about 18-20 in other places. So yeah, learn from my mistakes, guys. But this box is so beautiful. I really like the effort that has gone into the artwork, the box. It's just beautiful. They've used scythes, which I think is just stunning. The box is stunning. It's perfect. I love all the purples. I do think like the inside could have been more detailed than the pattern they used. It comes with this little ribbon, which thank fuck, because I love it when they do that, because then it's like, it's just easier to pull everything out. So I use it underneath the book as well as underneath the deck. So it comes with this booklet, which is really detailed, so beautiful, so pretty. In the front it's got like the contents, it tells you the suits and, you know, what they're replacing, which is something I really, really appreciate, because usually in alternative decks like these, they'll be like, oh, the sunshine suit, and I'm like, okay, what does that represent? Is that cups? Is it cups? Like, is it swords? What one is it? Like, and it's really like frustrating, because then you just kind of have to guess based on the interpretations, but this one actually tells you, which I like. And it does full colour of the card across one page with the definition upright and reverse, which is really, really, really nice. And it gives you like tarot reading ideas that are kind of like specific to the lore of this particular series, and all of their definitions are so cute and quirky, and again fit in with the lore of the series and the dialogue of the series. And then this is the inside of the bottom half of the box. This is the deck. I do really like this pattern. I will say, obviously, like tarot decks can be hard to shuffle just from like the sheer size, so even though like width wise it's like good shuffle, like I feel like that's no problem. It's like the actual size of the deck is a lot, so sometimes I do shuffle it from the top. But yeah, again, so much effort has gone into the artwork in these cards. The quality is really good. They are laminated as well. Sorry, a lot of these are reversed. And I feel like you can just pull a lot from the images based on the scenes you know these images from. So, you know, that really helps, especially if you're kind of learning tarot and you're kind of new to it, but you know Buffy really well, that could really help with you learning initially. I think some of the best ways to learn tarot is through alternative decks instead of traditional ones, at least when you're starting out, because then it gives you a chance to put your own spin on it and get your own interpretations, which I feel like is more important than the actual traditional definitions. So we've got like the Lovers, the Fool card, of course it would be Xander, like it just, you know, they've put a lot of effort into it. And I like as well that the cards have different coloured borders, but all along the same kind of purpley red themes. And all of the spike cards are hilarious. Next up we have the Hocus Pocus deck. So a lot of people online were kind of saying, oh my god, like really don't like this deck, they put like no effort into it, it doesn't even make sense, blah blah blah. And to be honest, I don't know what they're talking about, because I actually think it's fine. Like it's not like really detailed, it's not like the Buffy one, but it's still good. You know, it comes with this booklet, which is really nice. I like the little black cat, and then the green and the orange and purple. You know, they've gone with Halloween themes. And I feel like the artwork's good, so I don't really know what everyone's kind of talking about there. But again, they've got the full card printed on one side, upright and reverse meanings, which I really appreciate. And they do also have spreads as well in there, but it doesn't tell you. So again, this is one of my pet peeves with alternative decks. So they've got the suit of candles, but they've not told you what that represents, whether that's like wands, cups, whatever, you know. So you kind of have to guess a little bit, which is a little bit frustrating. And it's one of my pet peeves, because like how am I supposed to know what pumpkins, candles, lightning, potions all represent? You know, I'd imagine potions are wands, but then are candlesticks wands, you know? The inside of the box has a little candle to represent, of course, the candle that they lit to bring back the witches. The back of the deck is just this simple purple design, and then we've got like really cute artwork. Like this is just so amazing. It perfectly encapsulates like the creepiness with the fingers, her like coming towards them. So I actually really do like the designs in here. I think they're good. The cardstock's pretty good. It is laminated, but like it's like subtle lamination, you know? I think whoever, you know, did this put so much effort into it, and I do think it's a really good deck. The criticisms of this deck were really harsh. Keep in mind, this is an incredibly affordable cheap deck. Like, this was like, I've seen it for £8 before, I've seen it for a £5, I've seen it for a £10. I think I paid like 15 because I bought it closer to Halloween, so of course the price will go up because they know you'll be looking for this deck on Halloween. But it is a very affordable deck, so all the complaints are really unfounded, but I do also feel like people tend to complain about cheaper decks simply because they're affordable, and so from that they gather the deck must be cheap and not very good, which isn't true. I would say really good one. Not as good as Buffy, but very good. Next up for our movies decks, we have Disney villains. This deck I'm not 100% keen on, and it's simply because I'm not really a Disney person. It's got this like simple green design on the inside, and then it's got a purple design on the back. It does come with a booklet, which I really like. To be honest, guys, I bought this deck for you lot more than for myself. It does have upright and reverse meanings, which I really like, and it does have all the ordinary suits, so I wouldn't say it's particularly alternative. And it's got all the villains you could think of, so it is really like, it covers all the bases. This is the back of the deck. Again, pretty decent cardstock, laminated, so quite good quality. Although I will say cards that don't come with like any particular like edged like gold foil or whatever, they tend to like chip a little bit and kind of have more wear and tear than most decks. I feel like the artwork is really good, but it was a really, really affordable deck, so pretty decent for like the level of like artwork that you're getting and the detail in the booklet. So I do feel like it's pretty good. I've seen it for a £5, I've seen it for a £10, I've seen it for 15. It just depends where you're looking. For our next category of decks, we have tins. Starting off with this tin deck I got, this one is all about lessons from a cat. It's just got this really simple like sticker of a black cat on the front that's gold foiled, which is really cute. Tin lid comes straight off, and the inside is, again, just tin. But the cards are stunning. So this is the back, and it says lessons from a cat, and it's got the design on it. These aren't a sticker, these are printed. And it's kind of that rubber texture, really good quality. This was a slightly pricier deck, but like, come on, look at this. How's that not worth it? And also, it's just all black cats, which I love, they're my fave. So it just has this simple message, you know, keep exploring, stay balanced. So these are really good like affirmation cards if you're looking for something. Always keep dreaming, you know, appreciate what you have. 10 out of 10, love these. Next up we have Night Visions. This I got off of Etsy, and it's got this little like sticker on the tin, and it's basically a bunch of bats on like affirmation cards. And the deck is very small. It's almost a little bit too small to shuffle, I would say. But again, I'm happier, the smaller the deck the better, rather than like the larger the deck. Hey. Anyway, so the back is this kind of design where it's like black with all of these little like bat stickers on it, and the actual cards themselves, let me reverse it, are just these really simple cute artwork designs. So we've got protection here with a little like cutesy pootsy bat. It also comes with an explanation of the cards. I did see she recently came out with additions to the deck, so that I think there's 5 cards you can also get on her shop. Because it's a very small deck, if you wanted to add to it, it does seem like she's going to be making more to kind of bulk out the deck a little bit. But it's just like a little travel size affirmation card deck. The next tin is Pocket Archetype. I think I'm almost pretty sure I bought the wrong deck. There was a deck I thought I was buying, and when this arrived I realised this wasn't what I thought I was buying. It's a little bit hit or miss, it's a little bit weird, and I'll get into it. I like that it's circular, it's unique. The book is very, very small, and the meanings are a little bit like crazy. Like, it's hard to like sometimes they're a bit wordy, and I feel like this book is very wordy. Like, they've put like when light, when dark. How are you supposed to determine when this card is light or dark? Like, it's not like on one side of the card it will say light version, dark version, and whatever side it comes out on, then that's light and that's dark. It literally doesn't tell you. So I find that kind of difficult to understand. and then it says go deeper, and then it's got like the messaging, which I find a little bit confusing. But I do like how cute and small it is. The back of the deck isn't something I'm usually drawn to. I really just got it because it was a cute circular deck. It's good that it's small because that makes it like good to shuffle, but the circular shape is a little bit tricky to work with. The designs themselves are really strange, and I'm not trying to be mean. This is a little bit scary. Like, it's half of some dude's face with his eyes darkened out as if this is like a mugshot. And then there's something I can't even identify over the top of him. There's a snakeskin design, and then there's an eyeball and a crystal. Like, it's very scary. The way it's kind of like a cutout piece from a magazine slapped on top of something is just giving ransom note. But then some of them are really nice. Like, this doesn't look like that at all. This doesn't look like anything's been cut out, slapdashed. All of the designs are really mismatched. So I would say it's not this, like, there's no actual issues with this deck or with the artwork. It's more that I didn't realise what deck I was buying, and I thought I was buying one with different artwork. Because there's two that are like very similar. So I thought that was what I was buying, but I wasn't. I was getting this one. The card itself, a little bit flimsy, but like it does feel like it's been treated, so it should hopefully like hold up. But it's just supposed to be like a pocket-sized travel divination tool for anyone who's kind of interested in that, and it all like fits away really neatly. So yeah, it's pretty cute, and I do like using it. It's just a little bit strange. So our next category is alternative decks. Starting off with one of my favourites, it is the Cute Ghost Tarot. So there's actually two options online. I got this from Etsy, and you can either get the light one or the dark one. I wanted the dark one, but they had sold out, and both decks were really cute, so I was happy to get either. So I ended up getting what was left over, which was the light card deck. And I'm happy I did because it's so beautiful. And I don't really feel the need to have two of the exact same deck, so I'm not going to go get the dark one, but I think it would be like nice to have the set. So the deck comes with a basic pamphlet, one of my pet peeves, but it's okay because the pamphlet does give you definition, so it can help to teach you tarot. But I feel like at this point, when I got this deck, I already knew tarot, so it wasn't a big deal for me. Also, it comes in like a little cardboard box. The backs of the cards are this sun and moon design, and if you got the dark version, it would be like dark blue. I'd say they're quite easy to shuffle. It's like a reasonably sized deck. They're laminated. They have just the cutest like sketched type of artwork and design. This is 100% my vibe, me to a T. Like, when I saw this deck, I just knew it was for me, especially since I'm someone who is like a little bit obsessed with the topic of ghosts. I just knew this deck would be for me. One thing I really like about it is how colourful the cards are. They've really put a lot of effort into that, and I really do like the designs, and I think it's really simple in conveying the actual meaning of the cards. So 5 of Blades here, with everyone sort of looking really upset about the situation and this person looking happy taking what resources they have left. It really helps to kind of demonstrate the meaning of the card as well. This one was a little bit more on the expensive side. I don't think it was the deck necessarily. I think it was more like the delivery, and that's just because of where I'm based, from where the seller is based. So for people who are closer, it probably won't even be that much. But it does come with this little card and QR code as well. I never have the heart to like throw these away. I always keep them, but they're not particularly relevant to like you using the deck. And I'd say it's worth it as well. If it's something you liked and you could afford, I would say this one's very worth it. Very cute. I love this one of my faves. One thing as well, because it's alternative, it does say sticks for wands, but it's easy to discern that without them explaining because everything else is the same. So obviously like swords, cups, swords are called blades, cups and pentacles, so coins. So it's really easy to discern what represented what, even though they've not used the traditional suits. Next up for alternative decks, we have this Cat Tarot, and I will say as well, this one is foiled, but it's probably the first, well actually I've got 2 that aren't gold foiled but are something else. So this is kind of like holographic / silver, which is quite unique for tarot decks, and I think the effort they've put into the designs are adorable. It says cat tarot on the side. The symbols are all like cat related. And then it's got this little cat peeking out from under the top of the lid, which is really cute. And on top of that, the symbols around the cat is like a fish and a mouse. So it's such a vibe. And this is such a cat-like energy. I really like this one. The design on the inside of the box is this blue pattern. It's kind of giving like hieroglyphics a little bit. I think it's really cute. And I do think that's intentional on their part. So the deck comes with a booklet, which has all the details that I love. So it's got the picture of the card as well as the upright and reversed meanings, which I really appreciate. I think that one's beautiful. And it does also have like little spreads and ideas that you can do as well. So the inside of the box has that blue design, and it's the same on the back of the cards, but it's purple. And I think this design is really pretty. I like the effort that's gone into each of these little symbols. I think it's a really lovely deck and really lovely design as well. The cards themselves are just so expressive. I think if you have pets, or if you have a cat pet specifically, that really helps to understand like the definition of the cards, especially if you're first kind of starting out with tarot. Having a booklet that tells you everything, plus having like the expressions of the cats and what they're doing to convey to you what this card means, is really amazing as well. It's really, really helpful. Obviously this is like getting spooked by something really like significant, which represents the sort of chaos of the Tower card. Sun card, living its best life, like cat who's had the cream, it's very full, it's got a full belly, you know, it's giving like the exact definitions you're kind of looking for. Strength with the little mouse here. And I think like it's nice as well because they've gone for like a different type of cat each time. So some are grey, some are white with like little grey paws. Some are, you know, like more tabby type cats. And I love that Deaf is a Hoover. I think it's so funny. And I think it's nice because then you can kind of see your own pet in the cards as well. They've got a dog as the devil, which is hilarious. By the way, I love dogs. Absolutely love them. But it's funny because obviously cats don't. So yeah, I really love this. And like Ace of Wands, having this sort of toy that the cat's reaching for. It's like you're starting something new, you're reaching for it. You've got high aims, high ambitions, high goals. I will say as well, in the booklet, it literally tells you what the wands represent in the deck, which is balls, toys, you know, other little playthings. So they've not kind of left you in the dark about what those alternative designs mean, which I really appreciate as well, because otherwise you'd kind of be left guessing. I mean, you could imagine bowls or cups, but from then on, you know, you wouldn't know really what's going on. So I appreciate that they did that as well. So really good deck. Also decent size, easy to shuffle, no problems there. Next up, from the same publisher as before, we've got Pot Tarot. So this is by the same publishing house, and it's got like, again, foiling on it, but this one's green, so again a really unique one because most of them are like gold foiled. And I really love all the colours they've gone for. I like the design. It is just a simple green on the inside, but I like this like rainbow aesthetic they've kind of gone for, and the images that they've used I really like. Again, I think the cat one as well as this one was really, really affordable for what it is, for the fact that it's a really decent, really detailed, unique alternative deck. So again, you've got upright and reverse meanings, you've got all these like detailed images that are so cute, and they really like bring to life the kind of alternative symbols that they're representing. This one also gives you card spreads, and again what this one does, which I really appreciate, is it tells you again what the alternative suits represent, because not all alternative decks do that, which can be really frustrating. So I really appreciate that they did that as well. And I appreciate that, you know, you've got like a full booklet. It's not just, you know, a little leaflet. There's this orange design on the back, orangey pinky kind of salmon colour, which is quite cute. I will say I ordered this one off of Amazon, and one of the cards came with like the back of the card like fully bent and rolled, but because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I want my decks to be perfect, but if they are used, it has like good authentic vibes, you know what I mean? So I liked it, but I also didn't like it, you know what I mean? Again, the designs are really detailed. We've got like laminated cards, so they're good quality, although I will say there's a bit of a texture to these ones, so it's kind of giving like watercolor paper, you know? Yeah, the designs are cute, but I will say, like, they're a little bit hard to interpret sometimes. So, because a lot of them can be a little bit samey, but I do like all the colours and all the artworks that they've used, and it's just a nice cute alternative deck that can resonate with some people if you like this type of deck. Next, we're moving on to the Star Spinner Tarot. There's one really important element about this deck that I really like that I'm going to tell you about that kind of sold me on me buying it. But it is a magnetic box. Again, it's this like holographic kind of vibe. Really nice. Sorry, how beautiful is that? Like, stunning. So, of course, a big motivator for me buying it is the artwork. It's pink and yellow, like orange, it's purple and yellow. Pink and yellow. It's like purpley pink with yellow, which are complementary colours, so it looks really nice as well. It comes with a full booklet, tells you the upright and reverse meanings, which I love. You know, it tells you a thing you need to know. It's got spreads and things the same as the last decks. So yeah, and it's by the same publishing house again. It's funny that all of my favourite alternatives are by the same place. And that's the rest of the inside of the box. Again, perfect size, easy for shuffling, really decent. It's got this kind of, these are laminated, but the texture feels a little bit like too laminated. It's a little bit weird, but I do like it. It's got like a purple shiny pattern on the back with this really beautiful like Art Nouveau type of style. The designs themselves are really, really cute, really pretty. They're a little bit like, I would say, kind of like an anime style a little bit. And I love the colours they've used, the fact that they've gone for like greens for like the coins, because obviously it's representing being grounded and like down to earth and money, so you know, everything green. And they've done that for all the suits, so they've given like a specific colour theme to each suit. Of course, when it comes to like the major arcana, they use whatever colours they're kind of vibing with, but I just think these are really beautiful. I love the colours they've used. I like the designs. I think it's very detailed. And it's a nice one to work with. I will say when I've used it though, I always seem to get like negative interpretations for myself, which is not fun. It doesn't make me want to use it often. But when I have used it for like you guys and videos and things, it's been alright. It's been quite positive. So I'm happy to like keep using it in that way, but it's not really my go-to for myself. So you might be wondering, Katie, why did this one, why were you drawn to this one? Or you might not be wondering that at all, but I'll tell you anyway. I knew I wanted to start a tarot reading channel when I first started out with tarot, but I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing first, and I also wanted to make, you know, build my confidence a little bit. So I bought decks knowing I'd start a channel, but didn't actually start a channel until like I think 6 or so years later. I wanted to make sure my decks were inclusive so everyone felt included and represented. So one of the main reasons why I bought this deck is because there are 4 lover cards, which I thought was really sweet because it helps to make everybody feel included. So we've got the lovers card here, and then there is a same-sex relationship lovers card, again here, same thing. And I just thought when I saw that 100% sold me on it, because the lovers card can be, I mean, all traditional tarot decks, and this is one of the reasons why I prefer alternatives, is because traditional tarot decks have some subtle themes of like misogyny, classism, those types of things, and it can tend to typically show like really traditional things. So for me, I really like alternative decks because they help to kind of cater to alternative people, you know, so I really related to that, and I wanted to make sure other people felt included as well. So if you're interested in more like inclusive decks, I'd say go for more alternative decks because they help to steer away from that kind of traditional stuff. This one was a pricier deck, but I don't remember how much I spent because it was years ago now. But I'm sure over the years, since this was years ago, it probably has reduced in price since then. I would say if you found a deck and it's quite high, quite pricey, just look around because it will be somewhere else for cheaper. The next alternative decks I'm going to be showing you is the She Is Magic playing cards, and this is the back. You can get these at Waterstones, but you can also get these at, I think it's called like Designs Incorporated. I'm pretty sure they only like deliver to America, so if you are looking for something like this, I found this in a market in London somewhere randomly. Sometimes they're online, but they're online. It took me forever to find this. I'd actually given up looking for it when I found it. So it's quite hard to find. Waterstones does also sometimes do that if you're in the UK. so maybe check them out as well. And then I also have this Major Arcana deck for tarot from Etsy. I'm pretty sure I don't think they continue to sell these, I'm not 100% sure, but like they designed it themselves and only had a certain amount, so I don't know if there's any more left. But I bought these because I absolutely love the colours, like, and the designs that they've used. So like these kind of purple greys are my vibe. I love the artwork with these little like dark flowers with the gravestones. It's very witchy, which I really, really like about this deck. I like that there's no like real faces to anybody, because I appreciate that a bit more because it helps to make it less freaky to me. I like the little animals. I think they're really cute, the way that they've kind of put effort into that as well. The issue with this deck is that of course it's just a Major Arcana, and I kind of naively thought that they would come out with the Major Arcana, kind of evaluate the success of that, and then they would come out with the Minor Arcana. But that is not what they did, so I just ended up with this Major Arcana deck and nothing else. So I was a little reluctant to use it because I didn't want to shortchange anyone and kind of do a reading for people where... So I mostly used it for myself, basically. But I didn't want to do a reading where the outcome is kind of predetermined by the fact that you're missing like over half the deck. And I love this one with the cats as well. And it's just got this simple purple design on the back. They are laminated, but they were like they wear and tear very easily. But I was really reluctant to use this without a Minor Arcana attached to it. And also it bothers me it didn't come with like anything to protect it. There was no box or anything, so they're just kind of loose. But I think the design's really beautiful, so I don't really mind that. So when I found this deck, and of course you can use playing cards to represent Minor Arcana, I thought, let me pop these two together. So I kind of use them as one. Of course, playing cards can't fully replicate Minor Arcana because there are some missing. For example, in Minor Arcana, you'll have Page, Knight, Queen, and King, whereas in cards you just have Knight, Queen, and King. I really like the rose gold foiling. I think it's really pretty, and I actually have a book from the same place with this exact same design on it that I use as a grimoire. So whenever you hear me sort of in my readings saying like, oh, I'm just going to check the angel numbers of these, it's this matching book that I'm looking in. The inside is rose gold. The cards are just these really simple plain cards, and they've got rose gold foiling on all of them. I like how small and dainty it is. It's really easy to shuffle. The cards are a really lovely design, very simplistic. And I just use these to accompany that deck, and that way I almost have a complete deck using both. And also, these are playing cards, but they're also for divination. You know, we have the She Is Magic playing cards on there, so it is also intended for that if you like to do readings using these cards. Good girl! We have a visit from Kit. Oh my god, see this white bit, okay, in her leg? So basically, she's a smoky cat. And I've heard if you shave a smoky cat, their fur grows back white. A couple months ago, we had an incident where she went missing for the night and she was actually stuck up a tree. Hi, gorgeous girl. And she was actually stuck up a tree and she ended up contracting some sort of infection or rash or whatever on her leg. So we took her to the vet, they shaved it. And so now it's growing back, and it was growing back like mottly. It was growing back like, you know how penguin babies have like fluff? Like it was growing back like that. And now it's fully grown back and there's just a white patch there. So I think that's so cute and so funny because she never had that white patch. But then after this incident and she got shaved, she now has that white patch. And she has white bits like sometimes. Like she had a few white hairs on her chest when she was a kitten. That's now more of like a deeper white area of fur. But that was the only place it was in. And since we shaved her, she now has it on her leg, which I just think is so funny. And for our next alternative deck, we have the Sugar Skull Tarot deck and Guidebook by David Ross. And I saw this and I just thought it was really beautiful. And I don't know if I think the box is just stunning. I don't know if you guys know of the Funny Bones books. And I feel like the artwork is giving me the same energy as those books. And so I felt really drawn to it and connected to it straight away. I like the pink on the inside. I love pink. And they've given such a sturdy, detailed, really well thought out, so much effort put in kind of book. This is to the same level of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer tarot deck. they've put so much effort in. It could be like a whole book on its own. Like, it could be something in its own right. They've printed the exact card right next to it in full colour, which I love. It makes it easier to find. They give you the basic definition and then reversed as well. So I just really appreciate that. They give you spreads you can do that are like, again, specific to this type of alternative deck. I just really like everything about it. I really like the back. I like these sugar skulls. My one gripe with this deck is that one, it's quite big, so it's actually really difficult to shuffle. I cannot shuffle it that way. I have to shuffle it this way. On top of that, this is laminated, but the edges are not. The edges are just paper, and they've not been rounded down. So I have had so many paper cuts on this card because they didn't laminate it and they didn't shave it down. So it's this like very square, pointy shape. So it's not the most comfortable to actually use. I think if you were someone who reads tarot by like spreading the deck out and then like pulling one out, then this could work. But I do find it a little bit difficult to shuffle for that reason. The designs are beautiful, and I think as well, like, they've put colour themes to each suit. So those are blue ones are swords, the more orangey red are pentacles. And so I really like that they've put these like colour themes to it, because I always think that helps to make a deck look more cohesive and pretty. And I just like everything that they've sort of put into it, and I think the images they use do help to represent what the actual card is. And I just think the designs are stunning. I love that they've got like a little border edge as well. And this is the kind of design of people where like it doesn't freak me out. Because it's not like hyper realistic, it's like very cartoonish and like kind of sketched, you know? So yeah, very lovely cards. Really like these ones. I actually don't remember how much they were, but I actually do think they were affordable. Okay, and this next category is spell decks. So this is a spell deck that I think I got for like either £5 or £10 on Amazon. These are just like little everyday spell cards. Something that really annoys me is this sticker is printed on. It's not removable, which is frustrating because the artwork is so pretty. Like, I would have liked to have seen it, and it's like got these little like gold foil details. It comes with, you know, a little fact about their company and how to use the deck as well. These are laminated cards, which is really good. I like that they're square, it makes them a little bit different. I wish the gold foiling had continued on to the cards, but it's not a big deal, like they are still cute. And I like that there's different categories, so there's like self-care, manifestation, divination, luck. There are more categories, but I'll have to keep scrolling. There's banishing spells, resourcefulness. So yeah, there's loads of different things in here. Protection, connection, manifestations. And then on the reverse it gives you a really simple cute spell, which I really like, because a lot of spells can be really intense where they're like, you're gonna need 7 frog legs, and then you're gonna need 12 eyeballs, and then you're gonna need an eyelash off of your ex-lover, and I'm like, how am I getting all of these things? Whereas this one's quite simple. It gives you like really easy to do ones and more just like sayings that you can kind of do, which I do really like as well. So yeah, pretty decent if you're looking for like spells and things to get like this type of deck, because it was very cheap and obviously it's on Amazon, which everybody pretty much has access to. And the inside of the box has this detail as well, and it is a magnetic box. So I really like this one. It's called the Practical Witches Spell Deck. I got it from Waterstones, and again, it was pretty cheap. I do just find it really cute. It's also the perfect size. Like, I love smaller decks. I think they're easier to shuffle. And I love the green, I love the little designs they've done. The only issue I'd say is this plastic lid is like so sharp, and it's really frustrating to like, it's really fiddly to try and get into. So it opens like this first of all. It's got a magnet here, and then it comes with a little booklet. This booklet is kind of irrelevant to the deck, but the book is really cute. So I like this edition. That's just like a nice little thing that came with it, and it's got such beautiful artwork in there. And it just goes over like divination tools and little things that may be able to help you just in general with when to cast your spells and kind of what to use. Again, the deck you get differently. You get it out of the top from the plastic bit. And this is the deck. Look at how cute and small that is. And then look, it's got like gold foiling, it's green. Oh, stunning. So I think in this deck there's 7 categories. So healing spells has this little like watering can. Money spells of course has money. House spells have these little flowers. Moon spells have a moon. Everyday spells has this little bumblebee because it's like busy bee, you know, everyday activities kind of thing. Love spells has a heart. And altar spells have a little pentagram as well. As I said, this deck is really easy to shuffle because of the size, so no issues there. You get like a fully detailed spell, which I like to use in my readings just in case people do want to like cast a spell or have something like that. But for people who are looking for like spells and things, this is pretty good because they're very detailed, very different. Like some of them are just things to say, whereas some have actions and some are like little projects where you're putting together like a little jar or something, you know? This one was also quite affordable. I'm pretty sure it was like £6. It really wasn't much. And now we have expert level decks. So these are by Layla and Olive, and these are the Orpedia Rosa Tarot and the Pythia Botanica Oracle as well. These are more on the pricey side of decks. They are quite expensive and you do have to buy them from their website. However, these two I managed to secure, I'm pretty sure secondhand off of Etsy, so I didn't have to pay as much and I didn't have to order off their website. Although I think it would be nice to order off their website because it comes with their like little branding packaging and stuff like that. I really do like these. I think they're the most beautiful, elegant tarot and oracle deck set that I've seen. They have way more than this. I think they've got like 5 in total, or like oracle and tarot decks. This was one of the first oracle decks I ever got. And this is why I know it's like expert oracle level, because that shit was so hard to understand. I still struggle. I have to use my own like initiative and intuition to interpret these cards. I like the box. I like that there's a little quote on the inside. I do like that it is a little booklet, but it is like a cross between a pamphlet and a booklet, which I dislike. But I do think it's quite decent. But the definitions are so confusing. So I'm just going to read like one out to you. Okay. Passion flower is endure when the act of outlasting all mistrust, fear, doubt, hesitation, maturity, and derision arrives as your most profound celestial blessing. Blooming when you choose will be your finest proof. The fuck? Like, how am I supposed to interpret that? So I end up reading this about 11 times. And then I'm like, right, I think I've got it. And then I interpret from there. So I found this quite confusing. Also, it's a little bit crooked now that I'm looking at it, yeah. The words kind of are a little bit to the side like this. But yeah, I found that really confusing. So I try and just take the keyword that is on the card and interpret that instead. And then the inside of the box is like that. So this is the outside upside down. And this is it upright. And I just think that's so beautiful. Like, hello. It's so cute. It's this, who cares that it's confusing, okay? It's beautiful. Also online, this very much looked gold foiled, and it's not. It's more like a very subtle, fine gold glitter on yellow. The designs of the flowers are just so beautiful. I'm sorry, like they really are. And then we've got invert fear with blackthorn. We've got reflect emit with bearfruit. So I just try and interpret, like with this keyword that's on there with like tempt, forget. I just try and use that in my readings as opposed to looking at the guidebook, because the guidebook can be a little bit confusing. But I just think that this deck is really pretty. So even though it is pricey, I don't regret getting this one at all. That doesn't mean I would urge you guys to get it, because I feel like it is a little bit confusing, but it's like up to you in it, like what your vibe is. If you like this type of thing, then yeah, go for it. But very much, this is one of my faves. Then later on they came out with this tarot deck. So they've designed it slightly differently. They've still got a quote on the inside of the box, but the deck doesn't come with a booklet, it comes with a pamphlet, which is like my biggest pet peeve. I really dislike that, but at the same time it's like, because I now know how to read tarot, I don't need a booklet. But for anyone who's starting off, this is why I've put it in the expert area, because not only does it not come with a booklet, which you really kind of need if you're first beginning, but again, the definitions are really weird and confusing. So here it says the 5 of Swords. In old wisdom and youth, a new bloom of truth. Conflict remains, but we move through the pain. So they're doing it in a very spell work kind of way, because that is very much the energy of this creator and the decks. And that's the inside of the box. But that can be like a little bit confusing for people who are starting out, which is why I've put this in expert level. So this is the back design of the card. Again, stunning, so beautiful. They've seemed to upped the quality of the gold foiled edge, but again, it's still this like glitter with an undertone of like yellow, but they've definitely done it better than the Oracle deck. So I feel like they've heard, they've listened, they've worked on it. And by the way, the quality of both decks is really good. Really sturdy. I highly doubt, wear and tear would happen much, and if you spilt something on it, I'm sure you could wipe it away and the card would be fine. But again, these designs are so beautiful. The only thing is, I've also put this in expert, because you're not necessarily from the pictures gonna depict what the card means if you don't know what the card means already. So I don't personally feel like the symbols that they've used and the imagery they've used properly reflects the actual card. It's more that they know a lot about botanicals, so they know that flower represents that card really well. But if you're not someone who knows that, then you're not going to know, based on the images alone, what the card represents. Only the sort of creator knows that, because they know a lot about botanical things. So they've gone for more like roses, for example, Ace of Cups, all about love, new beginnings. That's a simple one, but then you're not really going to know what like this type of flower means and why that correlates to the Judgment card. So again, that's also why I put it in expert. The images, although stunning, can't really help you decipher the meanings behind these cards. And then on top of that, you've got a booklet that's very confusing. So unless you know tarot already, I would say hold off on this one until you kind of figure it out, Or maybe this is a good starting point for someone who wants to base cards off of their intuition and less about the tradition of that card. But yeah, and there's loads of like snakes on the designs of the cards as well, on the back and the front, so stunning. Love that. Next up we have beginner deck. So to start off, we're going to be looking at Parker's Astrology. This was a really affordable set that I got from The Works, and it just goes into detail about astrology. So if that's something you needed to know more about, then this is definitely the one for you. It's pink and blue, and it slides off like this. And it comes with this really massive, like, helpful booklet all about astrology. One of the main reasons I bought it is because it came with astrology dice. I had astrology dice already, but they're made out of rose quartz, so I'm very concerned about breaking them. So I wanted something like plasticky that I could throw on the board and not worry about it breaking. But it also goes into detail about those dice and what they mean. You also get these little wheels that sort of like help you learn more about the star signs. It also goes into planets, so there's loads of reasons why I picked this up. It goes into a little detail and then it goes into a ladder detail about each star sign and compatibility and things like that, and then it goes into planets. So really, really helpful book. And it goes into houses as well. So this is one I referred to a lot when I was starting out, and it's still one I use personally a lot as well. These are the wheels that you get with it. So you've got ones for like fire, water, earth, air, and essentially what kind of you do is it says Taurus. It tells you the dates, so you know when a Taurus would be born, 21st of April to 21st of May. And then above that it says city and country, so you can see like countries and cities that might be important to them. Planet and polarity, so their opposite is Scorpio and their planet is Venus. Their quality is fixed. It goes into birthstones and gemstones, flowers and trees, career and hobbies, traits and keywords, and then we're back to the beginning. So you can do that for each of the signs and just kind of learn a little bit more about them. But this is all subjective, of course, but it's just something fun and cute to do from time to time. And it comes with all of these cards to essentially go over all of the themes of astrology dice. So it looks into planets, so we've got Chiron here, and it tells you what it rules, the keywords, and then it goes into more detail about it. And then it does the same thing for the houses. So here we've got the 10th house, and it tells you, it's Capricorn, Saturn, and keywords, and then we've got more detail on the back. And then it also does the same thing for the actual star sign as well. So here we've got Sagittarius, it goes into dates, traits, keywords, and then much more detail as well. So this deck is really nice to help you learn and understand more about the astrology dice, but then also it helps you learn about, like, just in general, more about planets, houses, zodiacs, and it gives you these really cute images to interpret as well if you are giving a reading. So I like to use these as a bit of an oracle card, as it comes with these sort of, unique images for you to kind of base your reading around as well. Next up we have tea leaf fortune cards, and I think this would be a good one for people, particularly because if you're like starting out, because this is the beginner category, because it comes with a really, really detailed book. It goes into like absolutely everything. I don't think it covers every single card though, because some cards I couldn't find in there, but it does go into a lot of detail, how to use them, tea leaf reading in general, things like that. It comes with this little bag for you to keep the cards in, although I just keep them in the box they came in. The box on the inside looks like this, and you divide the deck into two sides. This is the deck, and it is way too chunky to shuffle, although I do try. And also it's circular, so that makes it hard as well. So it is really tough to shuffle with, which is why you have the bag, because you're supposed to put them in the bag and do it that way, but I find that really fiddly and difficult, and then I have to like fix the cards afterwards, so I'd rather shuffle. You can also spread these out in front of you and pull one out, or two or three, whatever you're, feeling. They come with tea leaf cards, but then also they come with like months and things like that, like times of the year. So tea leaf cards are red, the months of the year are purple, and then we also have green cards, which are astral houses as well. So I think these are really good because it can really help to inform your reading, and especially if you're new, if you just pull one card and it says dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past, that can really help to direct your reading. So that's one of the main reasons why I like it. I don't remember if this one was very affordable or not. Hard to shuffle though, because they are circular, but they are laminated. Next up we have the Good Karma Tarot, and I cannot recommend this deck enough to beginners. It was affordable, it is so incredibly helpful, it's very positive, so there's nothing scary in there. And you've got this book that really is so helpful. Again, it's printed all the designs onto one page, and then it gives you the meaning. It doesn't give you the reverse though. It gives you keywords, it gives you the traditional image, so you know why it looks different and how it looks different. And it tells you, which is quite unique, what the card means if you're asking about a person. So let's say for this card it says, if the devil represents a person in your reading, then you may be under a spell of a relationship that's not doing either of you any favours. Should you let go altogether? And they've colour coded each section of the suits, so coins, swords, wands and cups, so that you know what each one represents, and they keep it fairly traditional in the sense that the suits and the cards haven't changed, but the images on the front are much more like positive and are different. So I think it's a really good one for beginners. The inside of the box comes like this. This is the back of the card, and it's this like pretty simple yellow design. It's kind of a thick deck, so I do find it like kind of difficult to shuffle just because of that, but the actual size of the cards is fine. And I think the pictures are really pretty, the designs are really good, it's all laminated very nicely, so it would be very hard to ruin these. I think if you did, I don't know, spill a cup of water on it or something, you could easily wipe it clean and, sort that out. I just think the designs are cute, I like the symbols, it encapsulates exactly what the card is about, so there's no guessing when it comes to the artwork and the interpretation of the card as well. So very much a good one for beginners, and it was quite affordable as well. The last deck here is Positive Affirmation cards, and it also came with this free Palo Santo stick, which I thought was really cute, and it smells lovely. And it smells very minty as well. The actual cards, like when they came, and it came in this little bag, and it's like a nice like felt bag. So I really personally like these. I like that they're plant cards, that they have a little affirmation. It's just a cute way to kind of finish off a reading and feel positive and have a takeaway from that reading when you're done, because sometimes they can be a bit complicated and you're like, what did I even hear? What is happening? And then just to have like a little like saying to go with it is quite nice. And all of these are lovely, so have so much light that plants grow towards you. Wherever life plants you bloom with grace. So I think they're just really beautiful, and they're on this really good quality watercolour card, not laminated though, so you've got to be careful with these ones. And the back is plain. Okay, so next up we have affordable decks. Starting off with Divine Intuition, I got this off of Amazon. It was very cheap, and I feel like straight away you can tell because of the misprint of the box. The Divine was cut off on the top, and then the sticker and the printing company that's supposed to be on the bottom is like half on the front. And then on the inside it's got this cute design. It's got this like purpley pastel-y vibe. It's got a full booklet and it's this kind of rubber texture, and then it's got a lot of detail in these cards as well. So this is an oracle deck, so there's not really a like upright reverse meaning. Sometimes there are with oracle decks, but this one isn't that way. And it just kind of gives you a little introduction how to use the cards as well. Got these little daisies on the bottom that I think is cute, and then more of that green, mint green design on the inside. So this is the back of the card, and I think it's really cute. And something I really like about this deck that's quite unique is you can't really see it on camera, but there's actually a pink purple edge to the card that I think is really cute. Usually if a deck isn't gold foiled, it's just white. So I appreciate that, that's quite cute. And I think the designs are so cutesy. And also I like that they put the actual number, because then I can be like, maybe the angel number 32 is, you know, relevant here, let me look that up. So I like that as well. And it kind of just says these little keywords to help guide your reading, and gives you this really cute picture with it as well. The card quality is very good, and it's laminated as well. I will say it's a little tricky to shuffle. It's definitely on the big side, so I usually would shuffle from the top. But I do think this is a really nice one, and it was very affordable. Next up we have these two pocket oracle decks, and they are by the same person. So that's why I'm kind of putting them together right now. So one of them is the Crystal Ball Pocket Oracle. Really small. I think it was like £3 honestly from Waterstones. Got this cute design on the inside. It's got a pamphlet, but who gives a shit? It was like £3. Like, you know, I can't complain. It's too cheap and affordable for me to complain. It actually goes into detail, and the quality of the pamphlet is quite good quality as well. The back of the card is an all-seeing crystal ball, and basically these are just like yes, no, maybe kind of prompts. So it's essentially like prediction cards, but just a smaller version of the prediction ones that I use for my monthly predictions. It says things like, this is a sign, go, the time is right, choose a new direction, not the right time, yes, reconsider, like no, get more information, all those sorts of things. And it comes with these like unique little pictures on the front that are really cute. It's just like a nice simple way of getting like a quick answer, and I think it's a really cute, sweet, affordable, small, easy to shuffle deck. Next up we've got the Witch's Familiar. Again, it was really cheap, don't remember how much, I think it was like £12 to £13. It was squished in when it got delivered to me in the mail, like the actual mail slip it came in was squished, so this happened during transit, so it's not like the seller's fault, but it was like, you know, not great, so it is a little bit squished on the back there, but the cards are fine. The inside has this really pretty design. I love this like green colour they've gone with. I love the funky little cat on the front. Like, what type of cat is that? Sorry, it's so cute. And it kind of goes into like detail about runes and things like that. So it tells you different spreads to do. And this is like an alternative to using runes. Instead, you can use this deck. It gives you keywords, magical workings that you can do, information about like the animal that you've kind of pulled. So it's really sweet that way. This is the back. I really like this like little mint green colour, and then they've got the Wheel of Runes, which I think is sweet as well. And then you've got the animals on the front. There's so much detail, and the cards are so beautiful. So I really don't have much to complain about. Like, I absolutely love that. I'm glad they put the runes there, but at the same time, I would also like the animal, because some of these animals I couldn't identify. Like, I know most of these, but some of these, like, I did not know what that was. This is a honey badger or something like that. It says in the book, but I wish they said it on the card, so straight away I could be like, oh, you've got the honey badger, but I can't do that because I didn't know what that was. I mean, now I know, but when I started out, I didn't. But obviously, for the most part, I know what these are. And I love that. Look at how wonky that little cat is. So yeah, just a really cute, small, easy to shuffle deck. Good quality, laminated, really affordable. Just a nice sort of addition, especially if you're looking for runes. This is the tarot cards from Waterstones that is a part of a set. So you buy them individually and you kind of collect the full set over time if you want to. I so far have 5. There are others that I'm not really interested in getting, so I've stopped at 5. So this one is the tarot cards. Really simple. There's no guidebook, so you'd need to kind of know tarot or at least use the internet to help you. There's some gold foiling there, but it's silver foiling, I should say. I like the design. It's very simple, like not too much effort because obviously this was like £5, so it's very cheap. It's nice and purple, which I like, and it's a small deck, so it's really easy to shuffle. Good quality, laminated, you know, no problems there. Really simple imagery. Let me flip this because it's a bit too reversed. Super affordable if you're looking to just test and see if you're like into it. To get a deck for a £5 is very decent. So, you know, if it's just something you're kind of looking to kind of explore and not really fully commit to yet, then yeah, definitely like I'd recommend this one. The card quality isn't as good quality as some of the other ones we've seen. It's still pretty decent. And then it also has a how to use section as well with introductions. So yeah. Next up from the same Waterstone set, all of these are a £5. These are the palm reading cards. I am missing one. It was missing the day I bought it, which was annoying. But it was actually really helpful in learning some really simple symbols for palm reading. So you could be into palm reading, but also you might be looking for something to go along with your tarot cards. This is the back. Easy to shuffle, laminated, not the best quality, but not the worst. And it tells you little facts like about the Venus finger, and you know, it goes into more detail about that. I think you can definitely use these alongside tarot readings. Like if you wanted to learn more about a person, you could shuffle these and maybe it could indicate a symbol that they have on their hand that's significant, and then it can tell you a little bit about them. Then we have tea leaf reading cards, and again, you can use these to learn tea leaf reading. Or alternatively, and none of these have a booklet by the way, because the cards are pretty self-explanatory, you know, they come with the symbols and tell you what everything means. This is the back. But yeah, you could definitely like use this to learn tea leaf reading. Alternatively, you can pull like this card, for example, in your tarot reading and say, you know, this has eagle, elephant, envelope, eye. These symbols might be important to that person for the month ahead, so they should look out for those kind of symbols and things like that. So you can definitely use these for tarot readings as well. Next up we have the fortune telling cards, which I'm sure if you are a regular who watches my, you know, videos, then you probably see me use this all the time. These are basically, they just say like yes, no, maybe, the answer is negative, we'll see, the weather depends on it. So it's like answering a question for you, and they're all different. However, I will say that this deck can be really harsh. I do like to use it, but I don't take it personally if it says anything harsh, which is why I like that little pocket one a little bit more, but I like that this one has more variety, but the pocket one is less harsh. And then the last one in the set I have is this Palmistry cat edition. So it's all about, you know, astrology and your cat and how compatible your cat is with you as the pet owner. And it's this little like pink deck, and this is the front of the deck, and then this is the back, and it's cats in mythology. It tells you their star signs, it talks about your star signs and how that correlates with your pet. So it's a really fun, cute way to learn more about your pet, but you can definitely also use these in tarot readings. Lads, I literally just finished filming. I packed everything away, and I remembered I forgot this one deck. So I'm going to include it now. To be honest, this deck didn't really have a category. I did put it in the affordable category because it was, but it kind of fits all the themes. It's called the Sacred Cycles Oracle. It's really pretty. I love the colours they've used. The box has this really beautiful design in. It has such a good element of like community. This is the little booklet, which I think, again, so beautiful. I love that it's got a booklet, and it tells you like little spreads that you can do. It goes into detail of the cards, and it gives you a journal prompt as well, and it gives you like a little quote. So I am unlimited potential, and then you've got I am courage, so it gives you like a little mantra as well. And one of the main reasons I really like this one, by the way, it's got this like really cute snake on the side, and of course I love snake stuff. And then it's got a sun and a little triangle, and then it's got this on the inside. One of the main reasons why I love this deck, I mean, it's the perfect size, easy to shuffle. It's got more of a matte texture, which I prefer than a laminated texture. But I like it because it's got a variety of things. It's got like moon phases, plants, animals. Here we've got the blue moon, the 13 moons. We've got return to source, first quarter moon. We have the fox. So I like that it's got animal imagery in there as well, as that really resonates with me. And then it's got flowers. So it's got passion flower, waning gibbous. And then it has cycles of your period as well, because that's interlinked with the moon. So always has been. So of course you can't really talk about the moon without talking about menstrual cycles. So we've got menopause here, and then we've got the full moon again. We have uterus, and then we also have the sun. I think that's so beautiful. Just all the colours they've picked, the design. We've got butterfly. So yeah, I just think the designs are really pretty. It was very affordable, in my opinion. Again, it's all subjective. So that's why I kind of put it into that category. And yeah, I think it's a pretty decent one. So I just like the subtlety. I like the design they've used. I like the type of artwork they're using. Like, the illustrator was very good. In my opinion, again, it's all subjective. But this is like the kind of deck that I would like. I use it more personally as opposed to on YouTube, but I think it has featured on 1 or 2 of my YouTube videos out there. Okay, so next up we have must-have some personal favourites. I'm going to start off here with the Paper Chase Cosmic Wellness cards. This is like gold foiled everywhere, so I told you we were not done with the gold foiled card. I will say, unfortunately, I think Paper Chase shut down a while ago, so I don't actually think you can get these anywhere anymore, so unless you got one at the time, you're probably not going to get one, but I still thought it was worth mentioning since it is something I use, and maybe you might be able to find one out there. It's got this like moon phase on there. It comes with these cards that decipher past, present, future. However, I'm not going to use the deck and then weave through them and figure out which ones were past, present, future and then realign them. So I just leave those at the back, but I don't really use them. And it tells you like mantras, oracles, things like that. But I just use it as one full deck. The inside just has these little stars. It's a really small deck, really good quality card, easy to shuffle, you know, very flexible, but like not bad quality at all. It's got gold foiling on every single card, and they have different designs. So there's this design, this one, that one, and that one. So on the front they have different things. So this is like a prompt, what 3 things make you happy, for like self-reflection. Then we've got keyword cards. So we've got dreamer, visionary, goals, romantic. And then we've got like a little kind of mantra for you. So learn to appreciate the small stuff and not take anything for granted. And then we have get creative, spend some time doing what you love, enjoy, and be in the moment of creation. And then we've got moon phases as well with introspection. So they're a mixed bag of things all along the same kind of colours, like bluey purplies. And I just really like it. I think it's cute. I think it's a nice prompt for self-reflection and introspection. Next up we have Earth Crystals Spirit Oracle. And this is a magnetic book. It's like purple. It's got all these crystals on the side. And it is a crystal deck. The inside is still the same pattern with a quote. And the back is the same as the front. And on the front we've got detailed images of crystals. We also have a sort of mantra. We also have the properties of that crystal, the chakras it's particularly used for, the zodiacs associated with it. We also have some angel numbers on there, which I like to use as like dates to interpret. And then I really like these because I think the designs are beautiful. I really like the artwork that's been put in, the effort that's been put in. But on top of that, all of them are positive. You're not going to get something scary, you know, you're not going to get something negative. So I allow my true inner self to shine through. Lovely. I really like to use this mainly as a tool to see what, let's say I'm doing a tarot reading about a person, and I'm like, what's their star sign? Tell me more about their personality. When might you meet them, kind of thing. I use the angel number to determine like dates, months. I use the quote at the top to learn more about them, as well as the keywords below. And then I use the zodiacs associated with it to gauge their zodiac sign. It's one of my must-haves. It's one I use all the time for myself personally. And the best part about this deck is you don't need a book because it's all there for you on the card. Usually I don't like that, but it's subtle enough for me to like not be bothered. I really like it on this one. Additionally, it's always been spookily accurate for me as well. Next up we have Woodland Wardens, which is a 52 card oracle deck. And I think it's stunning. I think the artwork is beautiful, and it's, again, one of my must-haves. I don't use it all the time, but I do use it from time to time. I use it a lot in my readings online. The inside of the deck has this really cute subtle brown pattern. I love brown, it's one of my favourite colours, so I like that a lot. And then we've got all this detail. You have the cards, they're upright and reversed, meaning a little bit more about it, and a prompt for self-reflection. This is also a really easy deck to shuffle. I like the green and pattern on the back. Some people did say that some of their cards were like different shades of green, which must have been like a misprinting issue, but I've not really had that issue. Easy to shuffle, laminated, smooth, rounded edge. Based off of my own knowledge about certain animals, that can help me come up with my own interpretations, which is why I like using animal decks. But it does also give you like prompts that are really easy to understand, so you won't really need to look at the book, but you can if you want to. It just gives you like more insight. And I think the artwork's beautiful, and I also love that there was a black smoky cat, but I just really liked that because very rarely do I get a deck where I can see a representation of Kit in there, so I like that. Ladybug and Sweet Pea, like some of these are just so cute and so positive, and I love the colours and every single design. I think it's really pretty, and it was very affordable, and I think it's pretty easy to get as well. I'm pretty sure I got this off of Amazon, I think, so it wouldn't be hard to find. I don't feel like. My last and most important must-have is the Harmony Tarot. While it's not gold foiled, there definitely is a sheen to the gold elements of the card. It's not of like the box. It's not gold foiled, but definitely something. And then it's got all these beautiful designs on it. Yep, that's her YouTube there. This is what the inside of the box looks like. You have the book and the cards. I think you can tell by the state of this book that I use it a lot. So this is the deck I went and got myself after my disaster with that £80 first deck that I bought. This is the one that I went for. It helped me define my interpretations of tarot. I loved that it was alternative because it helped me come up with my own sort of things. This book in particular and this tarot deck was heavily focused on mental health and the mind and personal well-being, which is really what I was looking for at the time. It tells you the definition of the card, which I like, but there's no reverse definition. It's alternative, and that's brilliant. I like that, and it gives you like card layouts and things. And of course, with the major arcana, you can go in order to know what's what. So the Goldfinch would be the Fool, just because it is the first card coming up there. Because the Witch is the second, you know that's the Magician. You know that Forget-Me-Not is the High Priestess. So you can understand those, right? But I swear to God, unless I'm missing it, there is no explanation for what the minor arcana is. And we've got spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And I couldn't, like, obviously I can gather that winter must be coins because it's, you know, cold and whatnot. And especially because it talks about finances, security, physical health. So I assumed it was coins, but nowhere here does it tell you that it's coins. I had to write this on my book myself. On top of that, I get confused because there's no definition as well. So this one I put down to be in swords just because it's about the mind and thoughts and things. And then I imagined summer was love and spring was wands. But nowhere in there does it say that. So these are absolutely beautiful. I love the design. I love the pink colours they've used. It's also laminated, it's smooth, and it's really easy to shuffle. It's the perfect size for me. This is definitely one of my faves. I think the designs are beautiful. There's like the divine here, and I love the fact that they've picked like spring and winter and things as their alternative to the suits. All the faces are like covered by flowers or facing the other way, which I know sounds so weird, but like I prefer that. They've got things like the well and the lighthouse, just like different alternatives to the major arcana. So the lighthouse would be the tower card. So there's all these like little elements to it that I just think are so pretty. I love the colours they've used. It's really subtle, simplistic. See, this is what I was talking about with like facing the other way. The moon and the star. It's just so pretty. Dawn was such a good one because it's like about seizing the day. So yeah, these are one of my faves. The only thing with this deck is obviously, as I said, it's very mental health focused. I love that one. It's got like a little kit in there, which is, it can be a good thing, but not all of these cards are like positive, and when they're harsh, they're really harsh. I think if I was making a deck like this, I don't think I would ever include a message like one of the ones in here, because so basically there's a card in here and it's called the Ghost card, and I thought that was beautiful. I loved it. I was like, oh great, I've got the ghost, what does that mean? And in the book it says you'll have a return of like a mental illness or condition that you used to have, which was so triggering for me and really upset me the first time I pulled this card, because it's like, imagine you've had a mental like difficulty, you finally persevered, you've come out the other side, you know, positive, victorious, and then someone tells you, oh yeah, you're gonna go straight back into that. Like, that's horrible. Do you know what I mean? Like, luckily I was like, that's not how I'm gonna choose to interpret it. But if I was more vulnerable, like mentally vulnerable, in a situation where I was still in a like dark place, that would have been like really, really bad. So I wouldn't recommend this deck for anyone who isn't kind of looking for kind of harsh, I'd say, advice, because this deck is all about the mind, and so it focuses quite harshly on it in some cards. So I have chosen to love and use this deck based on personal interpretations, incorporated a little bit with the truth. So when I pull this card for other people, I say something from their past is coming back. So that could be like a negative relationship, or like a job, or, you know, a fear that you had, but because it's a ghost, you've already tackled it once, so it's even weaker than the first time it came round, and you'll be victorious. So that's how I interpret it. Or it's like, if I was asking about a person and I got this card, I'd be like, oh, someone is gonna, whoever, like, either you ghosted them or they ghosted you, or you walked away from that situation or they walked away, they're gonna message you. Like, that's how I'd interpret it. Like, something's coming back around full circle that you kind of thought was a closed chapter in your life. So, like, if someone you cut out of your life, you thought that was it, you're never gonna hear from them again, they could, if I got this card, I'd be like, right, they're messaging you, because that's how I would see it. Someone from your past that you think, you know, you're done with, you're not actually done with, there's some unfinished business. So that's how I see it, unfinished business with this card, because I wouldn't want anyone to get that card and have the same thing I heard said to them. So that's not how I read it personally. I think it was too harsh to put that in there. On top of that, there's one small misprint in this deck that really bothers me. This seems like such a minor thing compared to what I just said, but there is a small misprint, and had I got this deck and that misprint not been there, I would have been, you know, happy with that. Now that there is a misprint, I feel like I wouldn't want to get another deck, because this is my deck and my deck came with the misprint, so it's meant for me. But I would like one without the misprint. But I'm happy that, like, I've got a unique deck, if that makes sense. But look at the King of Summer, bitch. Why is the white border on the right skinny and the one on the left is larger? But then look at Laloon. Like, it's even all the way around. But other than that, love this deck. It is my favourite, and I do use it constantly for myself and in a lot of tarot readings online as well. Okay, we're now moving on to gold foiled decks. So we have actually seen quite a few gold foiled, or just foiled in general, decks so far. However, these ones are like the main foiled ones, I would say. The ones that have the most, you know, foliage. Okay, starting off with this deck from Killstar, I think it was very affordable. I think it was about £18, so pretty decent. The box itself is quite cute, but like, it's just got like very big Killstar, you know, promotion all over it, which I personally don't like, but if you're really into Killstar and you want to like show that off, you might like it. Also, the type of box it is gets scratched very easily. It's got a few bits of design here and there. The inside is just plain. The bottom of the box has this really pretty design as well. I mean, the real star of these cards is definitely like the designs on it and the energy, and I'm not really one for decks that have like a lot of skulls on, although 2 of the decks I've shown so far, including this one, do have skulls, and it's just because the artwork is so pretty. But it's got like moon phases, skulls, and it's got all these bones. It's very like cutesy. It's silver foiled on the sides, but the front is like holographic red, which I think is really nice. You can see it really well in real life, so I would say it's a great deck to use personally and to give readings in real life. But for like online, it's quite difficult to actually see the artwork and the designs and the details. There are certain things you're going to miss if you use these on camera. So if you're looking for decks specifically to use for YouTube videos, I probably wouldn't recommend this one, but if you're looking for yourself, then this would be great. Again, this deck is too wide to actually shuffle, so for me personally, so I have to shuffle it like from the top because I actually can't do it from the side. I think the artworks are really pretty. I also think the symbols really go to show like what the card is about, which I really like, and like some cards have really subtle symbols. This one has butterflies all over to represent transformation, change, glow up. Like, I really like those little subtle things. Some of the cards, not all of them, will tell you the star signs associated with the card, and it may also show you like the planet associated with the card as well. So for example, this is the 2 of pentagrams, and I believe that is Jupiter for the planet, and then I believe it's also Capricorn for the zodiac. So it does tell you little things like that, which I think is nice, but it doesn't show you that on all the cards. But I think that can be a nice like cute element to it. It's so hard for the camera to pick it up, but the designs are really pretty. But again, it's quite easy to scratch and dent because of the type of material they've used. So the wear and tear will probably happen quite fast if you use these quite often. But I just think they're beautiful in my opinion. Like, look at that, look at the detail. And big pet peeve, it doesn't come with a booklet or a pamphlet. So there's me being ungrateful about pamphlets. Meanwhile, some of them don't even include it. Next up we have the Anima Mundi tarot deck. Again, this was a really affordable one. So even though there are elements of it I dislike, like these designs on the inside of the deck, I do like these though. It's okay to me because it was pretty affordable. So it comes with a little booklet slash pamphlet, kind of like the Layla and Olive one, and it comes with really basic definitions of tarot. The design on the back is like cute, but like not the best in my opinion. And it comes with gold foiling, properly gold foiled, which I like. However, so much glitter came off this deck when I first started using it. There's glitter coming off on me now. I just thought the designs were really pretty. Like, sorry, look at that. How cute is that? The bat, so cute. So if you know a lot about animals, this could definitely be like the one for you, because they've just included like kind of a basic definition, so it's kind of up to you to interpret it. I think cards like this were so beautiful. The card quality is okay, it is laminated and it's giving that kind of watercolor texture, same as before that I mentioned. And again, it's a great size for shuffling, so not a big problem, and again it was quite affordable. So if you want to kind of learn alternatives based on your knowledge of like animals and things, then this could definitely be the one for you. Next up we have the Gentle Heart Tarot, and it's got gold foiling on the front, and I do believe this is by another YouTuber actually, I think, and I might be wrong, but she only kind of does videos centered around love life and soulmates. And this deck is very love life soulmate heavy in my opinion, which is really good for when I'm gonna do like a soulmate one, because some decks are very like self-reflection orientated, some are very focused on like your mindset and your mind and your mental well-being, and others are more focused on relationships and connections, like this one, which I think is good for that purpose if that's what you want. And that's exactly why it's called like Gentle Heart Tarot, you know, it's about the heart. So the side also has rose gold foiling as well, and then when you open it, it's a magnetic one as well. There's more gold foiling. Like, she did not hold back on the gold foiling, and I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, there's like rose gold foiling on the book. Front is gold foiled. I was most shocked about that because no one like puts effort into books like this. So I really like that. It gives you the upright and reverse meaning and the picture of the card that, you know, they're kind of talking about. It tells you what represents what. I will say, I don't really like decks that focus on, like, masculine, feminine elements, in my personal opinion. But you can just ignore that and, like, you know, interpret it how you want to. The inside of the box has the ribbon I like, and then also more gold foiling, and then quotes. The deck has more rose gold foiling and more rose gold foiling, which I think is stunning. And it's probably the first deck that's got, like, rose gold foiling very on point, where it's not so subtle, it's, like, quite obvious. The designs are stunning, and I really like that she stuck to, like, a colour theme. So it's, like, pastely pinks, browns and whites, which are, like, my favourite colours. And yeah, I think the symbols she's used, while subtle and minimalist, do help to represent exactly what the card is talking about, and I really like that as well. And I think a lot of the definitions in this particular deck, even though, like, they do try and stay true to, like, tradition, they come across way more positive, so I don't feel afraid to use this deck. I always know if I'm going to use this deck, I'm gonna get a sugar-coated truth or a nice, kind truth, in general. So I'm never afraid to open it and have it say something scary, but I just really like the artwork that's been used. I like the definitions. I like the effort that's gone into it, and also because it's good quality, but it's matte, and then you've got the smoothness of, like, the gold foiling that's very metallic. It makes for a really nice sound when you're shuffling. And it's also fun to shuffle because of that. So yeah, it's a decent size for shuffling as well. And so I do really like this one. Next up we have the Citadel, a fantasy oracle. So this deck is interesting because, okay, also it's, like, stunning, by the way. But this deck is interesting because not only is it used for tarot, but it can also definitely be used for, like, D&D and also writing prompts if you're a writer, which I am. And it has been fun to use from time to time when I'm just feeling a little bit stuck and I want to write something. It just gives me a prompt for, like, a short story, which is nice. So you can use it in both ways, or in 3 ways. The design element has not been missed. So it's this magnetic flap at the bottom, which means when I hold it up, it's not going to open and fall out from the bottom. So you have to pull it, and then it's got this here, and then you've got a box. So even if it did fall out, all the cards are in a box. Then you've got designs all the way through there, which I think is so stunning. You've got a moon with, like, a rabbit on one side, and then you have this snake and sword on the other side. And again, more detail on the inside there. This booklet is a very thick booklet with a lot of detail, and it tells you exactly how to use it. It's got, like, a little definition here that kind of, I feel like you would use if you're using this for D&D or for writing. But then here on this second paragraph is more so, like, the upright interpretation, and then here's the reversed. And then it goes into detail about telling you, like, actually how to use it for all of the reasons I said, as a writing prompt, as something for D&D, and as something for tarot reading as well. It has this kind of unusual hexagon shape, which makes it kind of fun to shuffle, and it's a really decent size for shuffling as well, which is quite unique. And on top of that, it has this design of a world, like, flipped on both sides. I personally don't love this background. I think it's these that's kind of putting me off, and I also don't really like black, white and red together. But the other side is, like, stunning. Absolutely beautiful. Like, the level of detail, the artwork, it's just, all of it is amazing. Every card is gold foiled in some way. And it gives you not only, like, you know, a prompt if, like, you're writing or if you're doing something for D&D, so you've got the botanist, but it also says the, like, sort of keywords if you're using this as an oracle card for tarot, so you have parenthood and legacy. And then, of course, you've got the definition in the booklet to help you if you need help, you know, further down the line. This was my favourite card, really sold me on buying it. I actually don't remember the price of this one. I can't remember if it was affordable or not. I feel like it was somewhere in between pricey and affordable, and that's maybe why I can't remember it that well. But this has been a really, really lovely deck to use. It's kind of one of my go-tos. I haven't really used it a lot in videos, but I do use it a lot like personally in my life, and I just think it is a really pretty one. Very interesting and very unique, and heavy on the gold foliage. We have a surprise add-on category, which is new decks that I just bought. So I thought I'd quickly add these in before I post this video, since I just got these, and yeah, we'll be looking at them together. Starting off with the little deck of dreams. This was just so pretty. When I saw it in the shop, the second I saw it, I grabbed it because I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. Like the little like silver foiled moon here. I just thought, and like the clouds are just so pretty, and I love anything about dreams. So I just thought, yeah, like this is a deck that I would want. It does have that opening where it's like you take the top off, but for some reason if I hold it like this it starts sliding, but if I hold it like this it doesn't. So I'm okay with this layout. I think it's cute, the type of box they've used. And this deck is essentially just like a guide to help you interpret your dreams, in the same way like you could use a dream journal or you could use like a dream dictionary. These are like a similar thing, but it explores 50 common symbols in dreams, and it gives you prompts for questioning why you had that dream. So that's the box. It's just white on the inside, and then this is a light blue with stars. And then here's the deck. I'd say it's actually really good quality cardstock. It's quite big cards, but I do think it's shuffleable, although I've not given that a go yet. And I would say it's pretty good. It's very thick card. So this top card is just a sort of how to use this guide card, and it's one of the most prettiest ones, I think. And then the rest are now getting into like symbols and 4 types of dreams you can have. So this card is about flying. This one is about lucid dreams, so that's one of the types of dreams you can have. This card is about death. It's so pretty because it's like the church with like the graves and stuff. Like it's just so pretty. I love it. This one is about kissing and sex, and this one is about weather, and this one's about priest or priestess dreams. So these are the types of symbols that can pop up in your dreams and what they mean, and it gives you like ideas for questioning why you're having that type of dream. This is another type of dream, so this one is nightmares that you can have. This one's another symbol, it's about doors. The quality of the card feels really good as well. But yeah, you get like 50 cards about dreams, and like I think it was just like a cute different way to explore your dreams, because I do have a dream journal and a dream dictionary, so this is just another thing that I can kind of add on to that, you know. And I think it was like £15 or something. When I got home as well, I tried to find it on Etsy and Amazon just to see if like, because I've never come across this before except in person yesterday. So I was like, why isn't this fitting in? So I was like, why haven't I seen this? Maybe if I type it in it will come up. It was nowhere on Etsy, and then it popped up on Amazon once, but the moon wasn't silver, it was yellow, and it was the same price. So I'd say try and like look for it in person to get like the gold foiling and stuff, and to make sure the quality is good, rather than buying it on Amazon. And then I also got the Modern Goth Tarot deck. So again, this is like silver foiled on the outside, but the cards on the inside aren't. And this is the side of it. And that's the back. I think I paid 17. So it comes with a pamphlet. I don't mind this pamphlet too much. I like that it's got like, it's been threaded together. And it's like a fairly decent sized pamphlet. And it does like give you the definitions and things, and it does also have the pictures, which I appreciate, and it gives you a few spreads at the back. By the way, the inside of the box was just plain black, and then this part of the box is like a tealy blue. It has the ribbon, which I like because it helps you lift out the cards, but I always just tip it anyway. So this is the back of the cards. I think that's a really nice design. It isn't like silver foiled, but there definitely is a bit of like a shine to the silver element. So straight away this is the full card, and one thing I noticed about this deck which isn't really a problem, but it's just something I noticed, was that when there's like a role in the cards that is like acutely feminine, although I hate to say that because I don't feel like there is such a thing as like feminine masculine, but for example the High Priestess, they've then made that a woman. But whenever it's ambiguous, like the Magician or the Fool, when it could be either or, they always tend to use a male character. So it's a very masculine heavy deck, which could be like, for some of you, if that's something you're looking for, that could be really good. But it's a little bit of a weird message to sort of be like, the only roles that women can have are women roles and every other thing is like male territory. I find that a little bit weird. So I feel like that moves more towards like traditional tarot with kind of the way it was done before. But I will say it was quite progressive in the sense that it does include like figures with disabilities and then also like the goth community as well, which is quite unique, and like the LGBTQ plus, which I do really like. So there are definitely good modern elements about it, and I really like the spooky vibes because obviously it's a goth deck, so I'm liking all of the spookier elements. Like this person who's giving like Morticia Adams with like the black cat in the background. Love that. Love the spooky element. And I just really like the animation of this one, and I like all the subdued colours they've used as well. I say that and then there's a really vibrant red one, but and I love that the tower is this like creepy church with bats around it and like a moon. And I like the colours they've used for the sky as well. It always seems to be some sort of sunset vibe, which I really like. I also really liked this one because of the way that this person is standing with the walls. Immediately I'm getting new different interpretations of the card than before, but they fit in. Do you know what I mean? Like it fits in perfectly with the interpretation. And I like the little ghosties here. And then we've got the world card. So the suits with like the Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands and things like that, I really like these. I like that even though they are illustrated in a gothic way, they're almost very traditional in the sense that it is literally, you'll see like 6 wands, 7 wands, 5 wands, you know, on the page. And I like that the illustration style is the exact same the whole way through. Like they're keeping the same gothic theme, similar colours. I really appreciate that. And I really like that there's bats everywhere. Like, there's bats all over the suits. Okay, so I'm gonna do a shuffling test as well with these cards. I will say, like, the sides haven't been treated with anything, so it's literally like raw paper, which is probably gonna give me a paper cut. But the actual card quality feels good though. So shuffle test from the side. Relatively easy, relatively okay. Shuffle test from the top. Yeah, fine. And then I'm gonna do the true ultimate test of shuffleability. Yeah, okay, so this one's good then. It's like a good size for it. Because sometimes if they're just like a little bit too wide, I can't do that. That was our final category. Thank you for watching. Okay, so that was all of my tarot and oracle decks, spell decks, all those things. I hope you found this video enjoyable and helpful, especially if you're looking to sort of get into tarot and learn more about that and find a deck either for yourself personally or because you want to get into tarot and doing that for other people. Hopefully you found this helpful and insightful into kind of what deck you want and what you're looking for, and also hopefully it highlighted like the pros and cons of certain decks, and hopefully you got the message that, you know, cheap is best. Trust me. Cheap is best. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment as well, because it really helps the channel out. And your comments are so lovely, they genuinely warm my heart. Like every time I read one, it always makes me feel so happy. So thank you so much for anyone who has left a comment, and for anyone who, even if you don't comment, don't like, don't subscribe, and you just like wandered by, happened to stumble upon this video and like, you know, watch it for a little bit. I thank you too. I appreciate that and appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. If you want to see more readings from me, I do post every Friday. Typically I post tarot readings. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and supporting me so far. I hope this video helped, and if you want to see more from me, please check out my channel and come back on Fridays where I post every Friday on TìandTarot. Bye!